Hi, this is Minder Chen. This is another segment of e-commerce lecture. And Bill Gates, once in his book called The Road Ahead, mentioned that the emergence of internet and e-commerce allowed company to start a business online relatively cheaply. And he referred to that as a low friction, low overhead capitalism. Particularly more recently, since there's a lot of tool and website which allow you to start business online with not a lot of upfront investment. This low friction capitalism in e-commerce world certainly hold truth. But another viewpoint that I like a lot, and I want you to keep in mind, is in a book called Net Ready, the authors stated that where there is a friction, there is opportunity. Okay, what does that mean? It means that you need to go to a marketplace, no matter what industry, what kind of product or service you're thinking about, to find out the potential friction, which means barrier, frustration, and difficulty that for a consumer to find out what are the offering, who are the suppliers. And that's what we refer to as a friction. And certainly friction can go the other way, which means for the supplier to find their potential customer. But in most of the case, we're going to focus on the friction occur on the customer or consumer side. Tom Peters, which is considered one of the management guru in recent decades, stated that nearly 100% of innovation from business or even to politics is inspired not by some kind of quantitative market analysis, but it's by the people who are basically pissed off by the way things are, and then they want to just change that. So starting from today, if you ever feel frustrated by someone, some business, you should just think positively and think about how you may change the situation and turn that into a business opportunity for yourself or for your company. So that's a starting point for you to find e-commerce business opportunity. And there are several kind of driver for e-commerce business opportunity. One is certainly had to have an innovative business idea and formulate your business model and business strategy in order to develop your idea into product and services into a business. And if you start a company, then you need to think about the potential source for funding. It could be funded by your company as an internal project, or it could be funded by venture capitalists. And the third is to try to find talents. A talent can be business talent and a technical talent. Some people are great in terms of the technical side. They can be whatever you tell them what to do, but they have no idea in terms of how to use the technology to solve a business problem or solve a problem of a typical end user. We need the talent on both sides. And the last but not the least is sometimes opportunity arise because there's new technology platform, there's some kind of disruptive technology, emerging technology, which allowed us to do things just differently than the old-fashioned way. I often found that people on the pure business side afraid of getting into business because they don't understand the technology. And people who have money don't know where to invest because they have no idea where the opportunities are. And the technical person are confident in terms of what they can develop, but they just don't have the money, or they don't know how to develop the technology or technology-based product or service into a business. So if you can actually integrate the funding source, the business talent, the technical talent, and plus a really good business idea, then you got the winning formula for building an e-commerce business opportunity, or actually for building any business to be a successful one. This is a simple model describing maybe a typical cycle of e-commerce related activity. Customer may kind of come to the internet using search engine or just surfing around, and eventually they may find your website and start placing order. They sometimes attract to your website by clicking on some online ad or actually see it on a printed ad. And once they place order, either it's online order or standard order by calling in, and you need to actually fulfill the order by distributing the product or services placed by request by the customer. If it's digital good or soft goods, you can certainly deliver online, allow the user to download or to listen just by streaming the music and the movie, or download the software package they purchase. If it's hard goods, then you need to have logistic arrangement to deliver the hard goods to the doorstep of the customer. After the sales, you need to provide customer support electronically, and hopefully you will build a long-term relationship with your customer so you can follow up with the customer and promote some follow-up sales to the customer. This complicated diagram actually is quite simple if you look at what, in essence, what this diagram trying to tell us. I consider this as an important kind of conceptual model. First of all, e-commerce is still commerce, and commerce basically, no matter what's online or offline, it's about buying and selling. So we have a seller side, we have a buyer side. You can start from either the seller side or buyer side. A lot of time we will start with the buyer side by following the procurement process of the buyer. A buyer have to go through kind of step-by-step process in terms of identify their needs, finding where they can buy or find something. Then eventually they have to evaluate the product or services that's in front of them from various suppliers. And once they make a choice, then they have to just place the order, making the purchase. Once they receive the goods or service, then there are some operation, maintenance, and repairment which has to be considered, which is kind of after-sales service related activity. And on the seller side, there's almost one-to-one mapping. For instance, buyer want to identify needs, so you need to provide all the necessary information. They want to find who are the supplier. We want to reach out to the customer to provide the product or the company information. And when they try to evaluate various products, then we need to provide all the related product or service information, like pricing, availability, etc. And when they place the order, then we need to fulfill the order on the seller side, and also provide after-sales service and support. So traditionally, the seller and the buyer maybe go using different kinds of channel, media to actually communicate with each other, which can be phone, a visit to the physical store, could be fax machine, fax, email, but more and more people are relying on website and to communicate with each other. Would like to use just a real estate website called Zip Realty as an example to illustrate some of the issues involved based on the kind of the buyer sellers kind of procurement and selling cycle model that we just presented. And when you have a lot of choices in terms of product services as a website, one issue is what we call findability. Help user to find what they want, or sometimes even help them to identify their own needs. Eventually, that will turn into some kind of search criteria. And once based on search criteria, we find a lot of possible product or services. We should present it as a result list. And if the result contain many items, then we need to think about how we should present various items in the list. What will be we call it sorting order, and how can the result be sorted? We call it sorting attribute. And what should be the default sorting order, which means initially what should be the sorting sequence that we should use to present the result to the end user. And also the result may contain some general information, detailed information. So what kind of generic summarized information we should list it in the result list? And then what kind of detailed information we should provide if the user choose to look at one of the particular item. So I'm going to just quickly show you Zip Realty. But keep in mind the following question, which is like, what will be the role of real estate agent in light of the emerging real estate websites such as ZipRealty.com, and also try to find out how does Zip Realty make money, and also where does Zip Realty get its data from. So the website, the web address is www.ziprealty.com. And let me show you the website here. You can certainly search. So there's a very complicated list of search criteria. And they do try to list the important criteria that people will use regularly or frequently, such as price range, number of bathroom. Some people may be also concerned about the square footage of the house, the living space, and some people like to have a large lot size, so you can actually specify that. Property type sometimes can be important. Some people would maybe only interested in buying single family home. They don't want a condo because condo may have a high condo fee involved. But some people, like some young people, like to live in the condo because it's a little relatively cheaper, and then you don't have to worry about some of the maintenance issue, because the condo fee take care of some of the maintenance. So there are other options, that criteria that we can choose. So I'm going to just use this zip code and price range, number bedroom and bathroom in my search here. So if you click the search show up, as I mentioned, that's the result list. So you can see the result here. And you may wonder how does the system present the result to us, which means how does the system sort the result? By what? In this case, you find out it's by the date, newest first. We can certainly choose and sort it by from the cheapest to the highest, or from the highest to the lowest, okay, within the price range. And there are other options such as square footage, or even the per square footage cost, which is the total price divided by the square footage. from low to high, high to low, lot size, from high to low, etc. I guess nobody interested in actually looking at a house want to have the smallest lot, so they don't even have lot size from low to high. Okay, and I want you to think about for a while why the default sorting attribute is the date, which is the newest first. Okay, instead of a price. I will probably think that sorted by price from lowest to the highest may be the desirable default sorting order. Okay, so think about that. I may ask you that question later. Okay, and once this has been presented, we can actually go in to look at one of the home in terms of detail information. Okay, you find out that there's lots of pictures. I think this is at the Village at the Park. Okay, one of the newer community. A lot of detail information. Pay attention to the HOA fee. Some may be quarterly, some may be bi-monthly. You just need to pay attention. Oh, there's another HOA due. That's kind of tricky. Okay, so those are the details you need to pay attention to. I'm not sure. It's kind of unusual to see another HOA due. This is when you need to talk to your agent, the listing agent, or your own buyer agent. So I'm scrolling down. So you can see lots of listed information. There's other websites like Zillow, eappraisals.com. They give you kind of the home price appraisal. So if we compare the listed price, $549,000, I guess it's above the appraised, at least those online appraisal sites appraised value. Okay, you can see that the housing price in Camarillo is on the upward trend in the last few months. And there's a school district because school is really important. And so it's lots of information that we have here. It doesn't hurt to be able to see the exact location of the house. So this is the map. We can zoom in, zoom out, and there's a little bit of the pricing information of the neighborhood, so you can kind of make a little bit comparison shopping. But that may be the price of the house when it was sold last time, so you need to make sure understand the figure. You may notice over here, this is actually a Google Map application. It's Google Map at the background as a foundation, but also there's an add-on service to this, which is overlaying property line, as you can see here, and the home sales price in some of the neighborhood houses in this application. So this is actually a typical GIS, Geographical Information System application. It's the basic Google Map plus some real estate data overlaying on top of it. In Web 2.0, which we'll talk about it later in the class, and this is called data remix, which means mixing data from multiple sources to present a new way of looking at the data that we have. Okay, so that's kind of a brief and quick introduction of Zip Realty. You should go and play with it a little bit and tell me what you think about this type of website, its impact, is it useful, and also learn a little bit about the web design in terms of how to design the website such that it makes sense to its end user.